Welcome everybody, welcome to the Tomb of Illumination. This video is to basically let the world know that I've just made the biggest astronomical discovery of all time. It can't be debunked, it just takes a bit of thought to understand how and why it all works. I'm just going to do a bit of a gloss over because it's up to you people to go and do your research. If you don't already know that the earth is flat, you're a lost soul. And you're going to find this a bitter pill to swallow. But I call it the greatest discovery of all time, and it is in this cycle of man. But I know there's nothing new under the sun, because all the clues are printed in mythological stories and legends and religious text. Okay, so what I've discovered is. I put this out in my video, I've been putting this out for years, that the central sun of creation is mirrored out. So we have Polaris. Polaris, the sun is a star, and it's actually Polaris. And Polaris is Sigma Octantis. Okay? And Sigma Octantis and Polaris are Alnilam. That's the buckle. That's the buckle, the middle star of Orion's belt. Okay? Because Orion's belt sits between the two sky rotations of the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. It sits dead center in that strip. The holy season, spring. But not only that, it is the passing through of the Orion and the belt, specifically the belt, buckle and the limb. We have the aisle, it was called the aisle, the street, the track, the river, even the banks of the Nile on each side. So it's basically around here, this part here. That's where Orion's belt travels 24/7 over the year, but we only see it for about 9 months because it gets buried in the sun, because the sun catches up to it. That's another thing I've discovered and no one else talks about it, and science won't mention it, because it's all connected with the flat earth system. And when you know the whole system, you're going to go, what the heck? How could I have believed I lived on a spinning ball and all that garbage? No, common man has not opened up his mind to search deep enough to understand the whole concept. They're in la la land. They think like a Neanderthal compared to someone who's woken up and knows the whole model. Trust me, when you figure it all out, you'll be kicking yourself too. So the central sun of creation we do not see is basically the pure plasma that our eyes do not pick up on anyway. But at the end of the Milky Way is the image of the sun we see, we're perceived to see, or educated that we see it in the ecliptic plane in the tropical gap. And that is one aspect of the whole model. But you've got to realise Earth is like a magnet and it breaks down. So you've got to consider all these levels. Okay? There's like the creation here and the two ends of the Milky Way coming off the sun that's created, feeding the plasma. You have the female down here, which is just the X chromosome, because it's both north. But the male is created between the north and the south pole, which makes it an X and a Y chromosome. That goes up there, and this is why the sun is considered a hermaphrodite. Okay? So you've got the whole Milky Way there and the sun in the middle, which we see out in the sky at night as the back of the sun. Because this obviously you're not going to see the Milky Way during the day, because the sun shines across the black hole. It's amplified across the black hole. It's like a trumpet. It's amplified, the frequencies. So at night we see the back of the sun, the Milky Way, and science calls it Sagittarius A. Okay, so you can assume it's up there. That's one aspect. There's one aspect of the magnet. Break it down. You can see it here, because we're led to believe the sun is in the tropical gap in the ecliptic plane right there. And then you can break it down again, which science doesn't tell you, that we have an image of the night sky in the southern hemisphere, just like they have one in the northern hemisphere. It's broken down again. So there's a Milky Way there and there's a Milky Way there. Then, if you're in that one hemisphere, you break it down again, because we all see the universe around us from within our arc of horizon. It's flat, with a 180 degree arc of horizon, where all the stars, all the celestial bodies are shown to us perpendicular off that arc, from that arc. making us the centre of the universe because we are 90 degrees to zenith. This is how we do celestial navigation, okay? So, let's go back now. That sun is projected here. We see a sun, supposedly there, only due to the light spectrum. Because back here, pure plasma cannot be seen anyway. But out here, due to the light spectrum, that's all based on frequencies, we have the sun here in the tropical ecliptic plane. But in reality, we only see one image down here in our personal dome of horizon. And we're getting it off this image here. Because in the southern hemisphere, all the celestial bodies come out from the south. They're mirrored from the north. All the northern stars come out of the centre here. They spin out this way like this. This is basically the magnetic field of the toroidal field. This was classed as the spider web in celestial navigation if you're travelling north in the northern hemisphere. Don't think they have a name for out here. So anyway, there's a meridian. Everyone's on a meridian north to south. They will get their image, their mirrored image of what's going on in this slice of the pie. And this is another thing. Science doesn't tell you that. What you have to realise is everything in our realm is to do with the moment of creation. So everything we do and say is all connected with the moment of creation. So a slice of the pie, you can consider that as a slice of the pie in the earthly system. That slice is what you're going to get in your arc of horizon. So that turning, that's a full-time turning rotation of the vortex in the northern sky. Celestial, photography, nighttime photography, astrophotography, seeing the stars going around. It's the flat plane up here. It gets brought down into the southern field like this. So this forever turning rotation in the middle here is casting an image out the south that turns all the way around here. So one rotation in the middle here is one 360 rotation all the way around the perimeter. So at one moment in time, you're only getting a slice out into your arc of horizon if you're in the southern hemisphere. And you're getting that rotation. Because that's turning, you're still getting a full rotation here. Stars drift in and you see them fade out in star trail photography. They drift in and they fade out. They don't do a full 360, they fade out. Because they're moving out of your arc of horizon west. So he'll have an image like this. This guy around here will have the image turned slightly. This guy will have it more turned. This guy will have it more turned. All reflected from the middle. So the great discovery is that that sun is that sun is that sun. And that sun at night is Orion's belt nut buckle. Alnilam. Okay? Because the centre of that between the two rotations is the centre in here between these two parts of the flat earth system. Okay? And so like I say, because it's like a magnet, you've got the Milky Way, you've got the Milky Way, you've got one system goes over into there as the male, and then the female down through the vortex, the female end, you've got the male end coming over to here. But then we have a whole system of our own in each hemisphere seen at night. Like I'm in the south, I can see the whole Milky Way come over at night, and with good photography I can see the back of the sun, Sagittarius A. So can the sky up in the north. Okay? So, here is the sun, which is Sigma Octantis. Sigma Octantis, or they knew back in the day, Polaris Australis is Polaris from the north, from the south. And Orion's belt that we see coming through here, let's just draw three stars, is also the sun, the back of the sun. Okay? So that sun will be directly over here. The daylight side will be shining back this way. This is the night side, okay? So that's the big discovery. It cannot be debunked. If you do your own research and look into it, that's the way it works. Understand magnetism. If you want to understand magnetism properly, go to Ken Wheeler's videos. Understand the magnetic field, the wave. It's basically a wave. It's a plowshare. It's in the Bible, the plowshare. There's another word for it. And it's the wave. And it's just passing over the earth all the time. It's the wave. And you go back to creation here, that's a wave too. The ecliptic plane up here is a wave from a centre out. It's like dropping a pebble in the centre of the pond and watching the wave go out. Well, where you drop that pebble is the black hole dead centre, and the energy created by the splash created the sun. The voltage gave all light and created life on Earth. And then the wave kept moving out, and that's where you see the planets on the wave further out. They take longer to move around the track. Another thing they don't tell you is they don't pass the sun. The sun's on the inside track. How can these slower, bigger circuits pass the sun with the most energy on the inside track? It's blue shift. It's red shift. Energy. No, the sun catches up. So when they show these images of retrograde, don't be fooled. I mean, if there was such a thing as retrograde, what happens to then mass attracts mass? How does mass attract mass when you consider this loop here like this? It doesn't work. That's why they now tell you it's just an illusion. They shouldn't even be showing it like this because it's BS. The planet is coming along. Let's draw it another way. It's just nothing like that. Okay. So here's there's the outer track, and you've got the sun in here. Okay, so you've got a celestial body, a planet moving along like this, right? Let's say it gets to here. And the sun is on the horizon of the black hole, and that's why I begin to the Jesus story of the baby, because it's the body of a baby, see? And the cosmic egg, if you go right around like that. But nothing does an elliptic. It just appears that way, because maybe for the S-curve of creation on the elliptic plane here or something. Anyway, so the sun moves around this hole. So that sun sends its light out across the world in a Fibonacci curve like this. So it's coming around, and it's going to come up and catch the planet. So because science tells you that the sun is stationary, is not moving, so where we see the sun out anywhere out here on the magnetic field line, they're telling you, they want you to think that this planet is going that way, going backwards, because the sun is catching it. Because the sun is catching up to it. Okay, so imagine that stationary, because that's what science want you to believe, but it's closing in on the planet, so it must be the planet going that way. Okay, then all of a sudden the sun is moved past it. Okay, so if the sun's moving that way, they want you to believe that the sun's fixed and the planet's going that way. Okay, then when the sun gets right around here, and it's quite obvious now that this planet is going that way too. Okay? So there's none of this garbage. I just saw something else online too. I should have highlighted that. Can't remember what it was. Well-known theory. Oh, I was watching one of the Wits It Gets It debates. Even he's still talking about the planets going around the sun. No, they do not. Get that into the heads of flat earthers. They do not. They have to watch the whole system here and understand it all. Understanding that the sun is moving in that small circle, just like Polaris. You see Polaris moving, and I pointed out that Polaris is the sun, because the sun is a star, remember, just seen from the nighttime perspective in several ways. Okay? Because of all these mirror effects and breaking down like a magnet, like I've been telling you, this is why we get all the different images. Now I don't mention this, how the northern sky, anti-clockwise, turns like this, but because of this parabolic curve in the Earth's magnetic field out south, that gets swung down and projected into the sky like this. So it's now inverted. You're looking at the backside, but it's still a reflection because it's a picture. It's a picture of that cast into the sky, and we're looking at it now like that. It's not as though there's a picture on this side and a picture on that side. It's the same like that. Okay, that's how this parabolic reflection works due to the concavity of this field with the dark backdrop of night. Okay, so understanding this is a world first, understanding why man has an X and Y chromosome. Science has never told you that. They don't know all that stuff. The two magnetic fields, the capacitor plates, the dielectric gap, what's created, the energy created between the capacitor plates. So you imagine sticking a freaking magnet on there and your magnet on there, separating them just enough so they still, so they are, what's the word, mono. Too far it becomes a dual, doesn't it? Dual system. That's the godly creation of Earth, South Pole, and the energy is being created in there. That gets fed up into here. This is the Milky Way. We only see the sun here at the end of that pipeline. It's a pipe. It's like a straw moving around the centre gap of the Earth all the way around here, going back into the creation to feed the plasma of the true sun. Okay? Male and female, where they connect, creates it illuminates the sun. So the sun's illuminated this side, but it's night side on this side. Sigma Octantis or Polaris or Orion's Belt. Now, getting right into the story of Orion's Belt and how we see it and why and all that is very divine, and I'll be keeping that information to myself for now. Okay? So that's it, everybody. World first, Sigma Octantis. Octantis is Polaris. Polaris and Alnilam. It sounds like Nephilim because it's connected to Nephilim, and even Alnilam maybe. All to do with the sun. Everything's to do with the sun. All these bodies are all related to the sun. That's why it's so divine. Okay, thanks for watching. Put a likes up if you don't mind and share. Cheers.